Is it possible for mere words to encapsulate the essence of the objects they denote? This intriguing question is the foundation of Saul Kripke's revolutionary book, Naming and Necessity. Published in 1980, the book has a wide-reaching scope that touches upon several critical philosophical areas. 1. Philosophy of language. Here, Kripke challenges conventional theories of meaning and reference, delivering a significant impact on the philosophy of language. He puts forward the causal theory of reference and contests the descriptivist view, suggesting that proper names do not describe but directly refer to objects in the world. 2. Metaphysics. The book sheds light on fundamental metaphysical questions concerning identity, necessity, and possibility. Kripke's discourses on rigid designation and the necessity of identity statements offer new insights into our comprehension of metaphysical concepts. 3. Epistemology. Kripke delves into the exploration of a posteriori necessity and the differentiation between necessary and contingent truths, raising critical questions concerning the nature of knowledge and our understanding of specific truths about the world. Philosophy of mind. While this is not the primary focus of the book, Kripke's conversations about reference and identity bear implications for the philosophy of mind, especially in relation to our understanding of the connection between mental states and the external world. Number 5. Philosophy of logic. Kripke's work brings up implications for modal logic, introducing the concept of possible worlds and discussing how necessity and possibility operate in logical and linguistic contexts. Kripke's work delves into several key areas. The first is the concept of naming and reference. Here, Kripke challenges traditional views, arguing that names aren't merely labels attached to descriptions or properties, but rather they serve as direct links to the objects they denote. The second area is the distinction between necessity and contingency. Kripke dwells on the difference between truths that hold in every possible world, the necessary truths, and those that are true only in some worlds, the contingent truths. He particularly focuses on identity statements, making a case for their necessity rather than contingency. The third concept Kripke explores is that of identity and essentialism. He scrutinizes the nature of identity, arguing that identities aren't merely contingent upon the properties of the objects they identify. This stance challenges traditional essentialist views. Finally, Kripke introduces the causal theory of reference. He posits that the meaning of a name is determined by a causal chain that connects the speaker's use of the name to the object it refers to. In his work, Kripke introduces the idea of rigid designators, proper names that refer to the same object in all possible worlds, in contrast to descriptions that may denote different objects in different worlds. This rigidity, he argues, is due to the direct reference of proper names to objects in the world, bypassing the need for intermediary descriptions or properties. Kripke also emphasizes the role of causal chains in determining the reference of a name. According to him, the initial use of a name creates a causal chain that links the name to the object it denotes, independent of the object's properties or descriptions. To summarize, Naming and Necessity is a monumental work in the philosophy of language, metaphysics, and epistemology. Kripke's theories challenge traditional views on naming, reference, identity, and necessity, offering a fresh perspective on how names function to refer to objects. His work, specifically the causal theory of reference, has had a profound impact on contemporary philosophical thought, reshaping discussions and setting the stage for future explorations. Voiceover. As we venture further into the impact of Saul Kripke's Naming and Necessity, its relevance in different parts of the world, such as Nepal, becomes a point of interest. The applicability of this profound work largely depends on the academic and intellectual interests of individuals and institutions within the country. Scholars and students who are interested in analytic philosophy, metaphysics, or the philosophy of language may find Kripke's work particularly enlightening. Kripke's ideas also serve as a platform for cross-cultural dialogue, offering a unique lens through which to exchange philosophical perspectives. Beyond the realm of pure philosophy, fields such as law, ethics, and social policy could also potentially draw insights from Kripke's theories on naming and necessity. Incorporating discussions on naming and necessity into philosophy curricula or academic seminars can truly enrich philosophical education in Nepal, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for this complex field. In conclusion, while the direct relevance of Kripke's work may not be immediately apparent in all contexts within Nepal, its significance lies in its contributions to broader philosophical discussions. It holds the potential to stimulate intellectual inquiry and dialogue across various cultures and disciplines. While naming and necessity has been highly influential in contemporary philosophy, it's not without its critics. Let's delve into some of the key criticisms of Kripke's work. Firstly, there's the argument that Kripke's focus on proper names as rigid designators and his causal theory of reference may oversimplify the complexities of language and reference. Critics suggest that language is not just about naming, but also about describing, contextualizing, and narrating, aspects which Kripke's theory may not fully capture. Secondly, while naming and necessity addresses important issues in philosophy of language, metaphysics, and epistemology, some critics argue that Kripke's analysis is limited in scope. They assert that there are aspects of language and reference that Kripke's theory does not consider, thus limiting its applicability. Thirdly, there's the problem of empty names, names that don't refer to any existing object. Critics point out that Kripke's theory struggles with such cases, raising questions about its comprehensiveness. Fourthly, some critics argue that Kripke's causal theory of reference lacks empirical support. They contend that while Kripke's theory is logically sound, it may not accurately reflect how naming and reference work in the real world. Lastly, critics propose alternative theories of reference and meaning that diverge from Kripke's causal theory. These theories offer different perspectives on how language, reference, and meaning work, providing a counterpoint to Kripke's ideas. These criticisms offer a more nuanced understanding of naming and necessity and its impact on contemporary philosophy. They remind us that while Kripke's work has been groundbreaking, it is one piece of a larger, ongoing conversation about language and meaning. Voiceover. One of the key aspects of Kripke's work is his proper name theory. This theory posits that proper names have no semantic meaning beyond their reference. This idea challenges the traditional descriptivist view of names, which argues that names carry descriptions or attributes of the entities they refer to. Kripke, however, presents a different perspective. He argues that names are rigid designators, maintaining their reference across possible worlds. This means that the name Aristotle will always refer to the same individual, Aristotle, regardless of the context or situation. Kripke's proper name theory has significantly influenced the philosophy of language and continues to spark debate. It has altered our understanding of how names function in language and has opened up new ways of thinking about reference and meaning. Despite the criticisms, it's undeniable that Kripke's proper name theory has left a lasting imprint on the field. In the next scene, we will further explore how this theory has been applied and interpreted in various contexts.